Hey everyone, this is Alana with FidgetHaven Reviews, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video on how to clean your bearings. I've gotten a lot of requests recently on the methods that I use, so I figured that a video is the best way for me to share it with all of you and to show you all the different methods that you can try. Now the ones that I'm going to be showing you today are the toothpaste method, dish soap method, and ISO method. I use all three for different reasons, and I'm going to explain them as I go along. So what I'm going to be also showing you is my different routine for both ceramic and for ceramic hybrid and steel. I do them differently, which I will also explain here. So I'm starting off with my ceramic bearing, and I'm going to do the toothpaste method first, even though it's the one that you will use the least. The reason that I'm starting with it is because I recommend cleaning the traditional way after you use the toothpaste method. And the reason that you'd want to use the toothpaste method is to clean out any really stubborn dirt or debris. Say you've cleaned your spinner and it's juddering or it's making a lot of noise. This is a good way to get that stubborn dirt out. So I recommend using a whitening toothpaste because it's more abrasive than regular toothpaste, and the reason you're cleaning this is to get stuff out. So I do recommend a whitening toothpaste. After I have worked the toothpaste into the bearing, I use a chopstick. It just makes my life easier. It's not necessary, but you may find that you like this method. I put my bearing on the chopstick and I spin back and forth for a minute. The reason I do it for a minute is just because I find that it's a fair amount of time to get dirt and grossness out of it. I'm not going to do it for that long in this video because brevity. But I do recommend doing it for a minute. You want to make sure that you're getting a bit of a lather inside the bearing, as you can see there. That just tells you that it's really getting in all the nooks and crannies, and you're getting it everywhere you want to. So I'm going to rinse it. Again, usually I do that for a minute, but I don't want this video to be too long. So then I put it under the water and I spin it back and forth in the same way for a minute. I make sure that I get the water going in through both sides, just to give me the best chance of getting everything possible out of there. As the toothpaste is abrasive, you don't really want little bits left in there. Alright, so once that is dry, you can, oops, I still have toothpaste on my hand, you can remove it from the chopstick. I do find that sometimes it sticks if I accidentally push it down a little too hard, but that's normal. So once I do the toothpaste method for ceramic, I use dish soap, and the reason for that is because in all of my playing with spinners, I've discovered that, for me at the very least, dish soap seems to work best on ceramic, and ISO works best on steel. I'm still kind of not really sure how I feel about ceramic hybrid, my cleaning method. I'm still kind of playing with that. So I just use Palmolive dish soap. Really, any kind of dish soap works. And just like with the last toothpaste method, I put it on my chopstick and I spin back and forth for a minute. Once again, I also spin until I get a lather, and I do find that it takes longer for me to get a lather with dish soap than it does with toothpaste. Just notes that I've taken. So once you've done that for a minute, again, just like before, you want to rinse under warm to hot water. I do recommend hot water because it seems to melt everything and get it out a little bit better than warm or cold water. But you just want to make sure you don't burn yourself or anything. Not too hot. So then I spin under the water for a minute, and then I am done with the cleaning part. Alright, so once you're ready to dry it, I use a microfiber cloth. I recommend it over using paper towel or Kleenex or toilet paper or anything like that, because, I mean, you've just spent the past however many minutes cleaning your spinner. You don't want to get fibers or dust right back in there. So I make sure that the body of my spinner is nice and dry, and then I use compressed air. Really, any brand will work. My biggest recommendation with it is to do small spurts. It's not as big of a deal with ceramic as it is with ceramic hybrid or with stainless steel, but you know, may as well get in the habit of not doing it for too long. Sorry about that. So yeah, now we are all nice and dry, and I can put my buttons back on, and we should be back in spinner business. There we go. Perfect and clean. Feels great. All right, so next I'm going to show you the ISO method, which is what I use for generally steel, and I have defaulted my hybrid ceramics to this method for the time being, but I really don't know which one works better, but this works fine. As you can see, I just have a bearing. I have already taken it out of my spinner. Not every spinner has a bearing lock system or a way to get it out easily. And if it doesn't, that's fine. You don't have to take it out. Don't force it out. If it's glued, leave it in there. You don't want to mess it up. So I have taken mine out just because it's easier. I do recommend using the dish soap method if you have a plastic spinner. I have a hard time recommending soaking your plastic spinner in alcohol because I don't know if it'll damage it, and I don't want to risk that for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it in 91% ISO. I have already put it in a plastic bag for myself. Now, a lot of people soak their bearings in ISO, and I do too, but I go an extra step. So that's why I'm using the bag. So I put it in a bag, enough to cover it, and then I scrunch up the bag. I don't really know how to do this without like massively shaking my camera. Let's see. And then, yeah, I shake it around. Now, you could do the same thing in an ultrasonic cleaner. I don't really have the money to spend on an ultrasonic cleaner, and I don't really want to waste the space. I find that this works adequately for what I use it for, although a lot of people swear by their ultrasonic. But I find that doing this jostles it enough to get what I need out of it. So I will shake it for a bit, and then I'll rub my bearing inside the bag, and then I'll go back and shake it. Now, I usually do soak it for 5 minutes after my first two like shakings and rubbings. But I'm not going to do that here just because we're already going on 7 minutes, and I don't want this video to be stupidly long. So I'm going to take it out here and dry it. Let me close this back up. But yeah, I do recommend soaking it for a few minutes in this process. So here we have our freshly cleaned bearing. And again, I dry it with microfiber. Even though ISO evaporates pretty quickly, I still don't like to take any chances. And then just like with the ceramic one, I use my compressed air in very short bursts. And then I use my microfiber cloth to dry the other side of it, and then I flip it over and I do the same. I just like to get as much stuff out of it as possible. I don't like the thought of rusting my bearings. So then once it's clean, I can put it back in my spinner and I should be good to go. So as I mentioned, I do use dish soap for ceramic, and I use ISO for hybrid ceramic or steel bearings. I think you guys should play around with it and see what works best for you. What works best for me might not be the same. This is just my method, so it's always worth playing and figuring it out. And now we have perfect silent spinning. We have 2, yay! So so that's how I clean my bearings. It's pretty simple and straightforward. I hope that you will try these methods out and let me know what you think of them. If you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to post them in the comments section below. I am always happy to hear from you guys. Always happy to talk to you about anything. So drop me a message if you want. And that concludes this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I do hope that this was helpful for you. And I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching.